My name is Kate Gose, and I'm the mom of 4 little kids, and I'm married to Nathan Gose. And we live here in North Gore. I work from home most of the time and take care of the kids as my hobby now that I have a full-time job. I work in administrative support, so I'm the master of emails and tracking files and kind of playing with data to make sure everything gets where it is and that we have some records of what's been accomplished throughout the year. Originally, I started going back to work mid-pandemic. So Nathan and I were finding it really tricky all being home and spending all that time with the kids, and we realized it was the point in our future had now kind of come to be the present, where I was ready to leave the house, so to speak, and get to work away from just raising the kids. So on the one hand, I really love that it's given Nathan the opportunity to be the primary caregiver for the kids. So it's been, I think, really healthy for us as a family to branch out and learn how to do all the different roles. I also just love administration. I find it kind of relaxing to have a start to finish task that I can do throughout the day, and I check it off and then it's done. So when I was in high school, I saw a poster in my high school that was advertising the RCMP Youth Academy, which is a boot camp type experience where you go away for about 2 weeks. You are kind of isolated there with your team, and you spend your days in pretty intense endeavors together. And then at the end of it, you're released back to your regular life. So before I went to boot camp, I didn't quite know what to expect from it. I knew that there would be a lot of class time, a lot of hard physical work, and other than that, it was sort of just an adventure. I chose to go to boot camp primarily because I thought it would be a good step in terms of learning what sort of career I wanted to have in the future. I knew I was interested in law and I was fairly athletic, so I thought that maybe law enforcement would be something that would interest me. So I don't know why I decided to go, really. It seemed like a challenge that I wanted to see what it would be about. The days were very predictable at the Youth Academy. There was a very strict schedule that was followed. At 6 a.m. was physical training. Everyone would be up, dressed identically. You would be inspected, and then you would leave for about an hour of PT. Then there was breakfast. You followed your class regimen. There was lunch, more class, dinner, then drill. So the days were quite packed. By the time you were done for the day, everyone was exhausted. So because the boot camp that I attended was related to law enforcement, and then I ended up studying criminal justice in university, I did end up using it quite a bit. It helped me kind of tie together some of the law classes that I took and understand where these volunteer RCMP officers were coming from as they were teaching us these things and yelling in your face and teaching you in that moment in a very unusual way why it is that you need to be ready to respond quickly, or you need to know that information right away, because for them, they can be out on a regular day and have a life or death situation come up. So personally, now that I work in administration, I don't see those scenarios myself, but it is really interesting to have that context. Through boot camp, I grew in some ways that I didn't expect. I think I went in knowing some of my strengths, but then when you're placed in a situation where you're with your set group of 5 people and you need to accomplish a task, like it's an emergency, I was really forced to step out of my comfort zone and try something new, knowing that we might fail. And sometimes, honestly, failure was the purpose, to just do our best and see how far we could get, even though total success might not have been a possibility. So we definitely learned to rely on one another as a team. Yeah, we were very much forced to try new things and take risks. Just basically plan for total humiliation, and anything better would be a great outcome. Certainly as a parent, I don't design failure into the things that I ask of my kids. A theme that I definitely use now as a parent is the teamwork aspect. You know, if 3 out of my 4 kids arrive and one of them's missing, that is not a success. I'm not going to say, great job, you 3. I'm going to hold all of those 3 accountable that the other one's not there, because we are a team as a family and we do everything together. It's also a sort of the concept of discipline that they applied at boot camp was one where they never singled out a single person, but you are able to collectively discipline a group, and in a way that's even more effective, because then the peer pressure draws those ones who are lagging behind. Hopefully the camaraderie draws them in, and also that pressure to not want to let your team down. That's definitely a measure of discipline that I try to use with my kids, that, you know, if we're doing something together, we're gonna either succeed all together or fail all together. I think one of the dangers of complaining in something like the boot camp that I attended is that you have such a tight-knit group of people that the tone that one person is setting is going to affect everyone. Even your entire class of 40 people is going to be brought down significantly if they know that someone else is uncomfortable. It's definitely important to voice your concerns and your challenges, but I think they need to be communicated in a way that's seeking a solution and not just kind of trying to spread the terribleness out a little bit to everyone. So to anyone who's considering trying something out of the ordinary, I would absolutely encourage you to do it. The worst that can happen is that you fail. And I know for myself that is a massive obstacle because the desire to succeed and to gain those achievements is really powerful. But once you fail a couple of times, you see that it doesn't really have any power over you. I was told by another cadet who had gone to the boot camp prior, he said that it was so challenging some days, he would just tell himself, if I can just make it to lunch, then I'm gonna make it. And I really held on to that piece of advice throughout my couple of weeks there, that, if I can just make it through this run, if I can just make it until lunch, then you kind of give yourself permission to quit later. I'm gonna reevaluate, I'm gonna do this now, and I'm gonna do the best that I can for now, and I'll reevaluate later. And that's been really helpful for me, even just in my life. I'm getting up with a baby in the middle of the night. Wow, this is hard and I'm tired, but if I can just get through this one feeding, then we'll reevaluate tomorrow. And it really gives you power to give everything that you have in the moment, and it feels like a fresh start then at every new step. To anyone considering trying something out of the ordinary, I would say definitely do it.